Memphis. It's time for the chant of the match, and we need your help. I'm joined by Carlos. We've also got some help on the other side of the stadium with Andrew. Carlos, take us through the chant of the match.
All right, everybody, we're going to split it off. On the first baseline over here, we're going to yell Somos. And on the third baseline over there, you're going to chant Unidos. Are we ready? Somos! Unidos! Somos! Unidos! Somos! Unidos! Somos! Unidos!
Let's get after it tonight. 3 points. Playoffs, baby. Come on.
Check, 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 test, 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 check.
Check, check, Mike, check. Here we go again, Tyler, one last time.
Yep, sounds good over here. 2 of the USL Championship is here. It's the final match week of this season. Tyler Ortega here alongside Chris Hurst. Alongside us, we've got our Spanish language broadcast team, Manny Esquivel and David Estrada. ¿Cómo estás, hermanos?
Gracias, compañeros. David, ¿te imaginaste este panorama, llegar a la última jornada, decir, si ganamos, calificamos, mejor panorama para la gente no puede existir esta noche?
Yo me lo imaginé, pero esperemos que el resultado también sea igual.
Esta noche, United gana y califica. Así de simple.
Now, Chris, it's a big one here tonight. Memphis 901 FC coming out to Albuquerque for the second time. Playoff implications for both sides. Memphis coming in needing just a draw to secure a top 4 finish and a home playoff game. New Mexico, on the other hand, multiple scenarios. The easiest one, win, and you're into the playoffs.
Yeah, you pretty much said it there. Memphis, it's relatively straightforward. A tie or better and they get home field. Even then, wait and see how results play out tomorrow. New Mexico United, 2 of 4 teams can legitimately still make the playoffs. RGV, Oakland, El Paso, and New Mexico as well. So, yeah, like you said, a win tonight and they get to relax and watch the results roll in tomorrow. Anything less than that and might be a little bit nervy.
This one's going to be a lot of fun here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let's dive deeper into the matchups with our players to watch. Presented by Toyota. Manny and David, take it away.
Así es, vamos a hablar primeramente de Memphis. David Rodrigo da Costa, este jugador brasileño, 15 goles esta temporada, un jugador que puede jugar en la parte posterior de la cancha y que sabe moverse muy bien en ambos costados del terreno de juego, pero también United en estos momentos, si hay un jugador que marca la diferencia, es el que nos vas a comentar.
Sí, Zico Bailey, un jugador que llegó a media temporada, obviamente un lateral derecho convertido a mediocampista, igual que Da Costa. Son dos jugadores muy técnicos, peligrosos en el ataque, y para nosotros Zico Bailey es que nos da pausa, nos da calma y para mí es el que marca diferencia en medio campo.
Así es, como decían nuestros compañeros, lo más fácil es ganar y no preocuparse por nada.
Both teams coming in off of wins last weekend as they look to seal their fate going into the postseason. Tonight's match and the 2023 season presented by Sandia Resort and Casino. Close to home, far from ordinary. We'll be back with lineups and kickoff.
So much has changed in the 5 years since New Mexico United took the pitch for the first time in 2019. But since then, one constant has been the incredible support and financial guidance of REDW. Our partnership has grown stronger and closer together as the club continues to excite, inspire, and help connect the people of New Mexico. REDW will be with us every step of the way. Everything we do on the pitch and in the community is powered by the strategic thinking and expertise of the advisors at REDW. With an eye on longevity, shared values, and purpose, United and REDW will continue to team up and make meaningful contributions for all New Mexicans. Somos Unidos.
I landed my first trick at age 11. It's always been a family thing. Just the 3 of us, out skating the city. Albuquerque has heart. It lifted me up, all the way to my dream of skating in the Olympics.
The estimated hold time is now 96 minutes.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
It is blackout night here at the Lab, a tradition here at New Mexico United on the regular season finale. The fans adorned in all black and the black and yellow on the pitch. This is how they're going to line up here for Eric Quilcris. No changes from the side that beat Phoenix Rising last weekend.
Yeah, and obviously a great result. That's put them in the position that they are in the front running, leading into the playoffs. Other teams trying to catch them, which 3 weeks ago you couldn't imagine.
Yeah, and on the other side here for Stephen Glass, Memphis 901. For them, it looks like just one change from the side that dispatched El Paso Locomotive 4-0 last time out. You're still going to see the Mexican international goalkeeper Richard Sanchez, newly acquired from Hartford just a couple of weeks ago. Turchi back there leading the back line alongside Carson Von Stieg. We'll see a midfield pairing of Aaron Malloy. And we're also going to see Bruno Lapa, Laurent Kisiedu, Rodrigo da Costa. Lots of firepower for this Memphis 901 FC side.
Yeah, and ask El Paso. You know, that's the third time in 5 games that Memphis have put 4 past the team. So New Mexico United have to be very, very aware of the attacking prowess of this Memphis team.
New Mexico in their home black and yellow kits. The Beale Street Boys in all white. And we are underway here at the lab. Tyler Ortega here alongside Chris Hurst. Coming to you here live from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Thank you for joining us wherever you're joining us from. Whether you're watching here around the state of New Mexico, whether you're watching on ESPN Plus, or if you're watching back in Memphis. Appreciate you for tuning in here, and hopefully we've got a very exciting night of football here ahead of us. Is playoff implications on the line for both sides, Chris. We talked about it a little bit in the lead up. Memphis, they're here to play. They need a result tonight.
Yeah, like both teams, and that's what you want when you come to the last game of the season. You want both teams playing for something. Obviously Memphis, the carrot dangling in front of them is the home field. First game at least for them. And New Mexico United, I mean, there's so many different connotations. They could potentially get a negative result tonight and still end up in the playoffs. That's how well the last 2 results, that's how important those results have been. So tonight, they know, a win and they're in. A tie, and it's almost done as well. So any kind of positive result, and New Mexico United could be sitting pretty watching the other results roll in tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting situation with this match being played tonight as opposed to tomorrow when the rest of the matches will be played. Of course, there is one other match going on tonight, or went on tonight, that's already gone final. It was between Tulsa and Hartford. So Memphis with an early takeaway. Laurent Kisiedu finds McFadden and back to Von Stieg. Turchi of a number of Brazilians in this side. And speaking of Brazilians, not going to see Luis Fernandez, who is a starter last week. Luis Fernando, excuse me. He actually scored against New Mexico last time that Memphis was here at the lab. It's the only other meeting between these two sides, Chris, was last fall, August 17th. 901 came in 2-0 winners that day. It was Luis Fernando opening up the scoring in the 37th minute. He was subbed off later in the second half. Philip Goodrum with the insurance goal in second half stoppage. That was the only meeting between these two sides so far. So, Fiesta Auto free kick here for the black and yellow. Justin Portillo, Josh Suggs, Zico Bailey, all very serviceable from this area. It's going to be Portillo sending this one in. Sort of an awkward deflection there. It was Akeem Ward.
I think it was Ward had a little awkward deflection earlier on as well that fell to Harry Swartz as well. So he's had a couple of little moments earlier on. Maybe looks a little nervy. I tell you what, there's a buzz around the stadium tonight. I was talking to one of the U23 players as well. He mentioned about the buzz walking around the stadium. The fans are going to play their part tonight as well, and it's an expectant crowd tonight.
Expecting another raucous crowd here at the lab tonight as New Mexico, you can typically count on the black and yellow faithful for showing out, especially with a playoff spot on the line. Here's Portillo, Bank of America corner kick. With over 4,600 locations, convenient banking just around the corner. Portillo sends this one in, and at the back post, immediately getting the party started. Why wait, says Harry Swartz. That's his 6th goal of the season, and New Mexico on top here just 4 minutes in.
It was like a delayed reaction from everyone, including you, Tyler. It just kind of went past everyone. The Memphis players, no one dealt with it. The ball went straight across the 6-yard box. They'll be very, very disappointed with the defending there. Harry Swartz just sneaks in at the back post, and the fact that he's able to half volley that at the back post untouched, completely unmarked. awful defending, but New Mexico United will not care. That's it. That could be a massive goal. Settle the nerves early on in the game here. You see Portillo so good with the delivery there. Oh, just gets a little glance. I can't see it. Is that Kalen Ryden? I think it is. It's a little glance on the line can do that.
Harry Swartz, one of the fan favorites here in Albuquerque, and a massive goal for the black and yellow. And this, some trouble here for Memphis as Sanchez has to come in and play this one away. Moreno able to head this back to Hurst, and the offside flag is up on the Scotsman.
I tell you what, and there's a little glimpse for any Memphis fans that, you can't blame them, maybe haven't watched too many games of New Mexico United, but the last couple of games, Greg Hursty up top there, and that's what he brings, that energy there, and he just frazzles the defense a little bit. And the goalkeeper rushed into clearances, sliding into tackles, and he's just really good at initiating and triggering that press. And everyone behind, Moreno, Rivas, Bailey, they were all behind, ready to pounce as well. And looking a little nervy at the back early on, Memphis up.
That Harry Swartz goal brought to you by Enterprise Builders, built on a foundation of trust for over 30 years. Memphis now going to work, looking to find an equalizer. Kisiedu, flag stays down. Kisiedu plays the cross in, and it's sent away there by Will Seymour. Hard challenge on Swartz. Well, we've got this stoppage. It's going to give us time for our 5:29 game update, brought to you by the Education Plan. New Mexico State-sponsored 529 plan. Give your kids a better and brighter future. Learn more at theeducationplan.com.
So my initial take on that tackle there was two-footed, left his feet. Be interesting to watch this here. Looks like he leaves his feet. He gets the ball, but I tell you what, he's a lucky boy, Ward, there, where other referees might not have taken too kindly, especially when he just leaves both feet. It's just very dangerous, and it's lucky for Harry Swartz that one of his studs or one of his feet weren't planted in the ground, because that could have been an ugly one.
Is Memphis looking to get something going? It was Kelly had that one taken off his feet. New Mexico looking to run now. Here's Hurst. Spreads it for Suggs on the far side. Here's the New Mexican Josh Suggs. The ball poked away.
You say that was unlucky, Josh Suggs. He was looking for the run of Rivas and Hurst breaking through the middle. Again, completely unmarked, and it just hits the back of Moreno, which saves Memphis again. Again, just not looking too comfortable at the back.
You can see the curse every time that camera pans back over behind Andrew Thomas. There's a sold-out supporters section here tonight as fans trying to find tickets in that area for the last couple of days. And I will say, as much as I love being up in here in the booth with you, Chris, I would love to spend at least one match down there. It'd be a lot of fun.
It sounds like you're fishing. I'd say, well, though, testament that, for people tuning in from away from New Mexico, the fact that there's such a crowd that turned up during Balloon Fiesta. There's so much going on in the city right now. There's a glow going on, I believe, right now. So hundreds of thousands of people are down at Balloon Fiesta Park, just a couple of miles away from here. And to still draw such a crowd tonight as well, it's really impressive.
It's our PNM Coaches Spotlight. Eric Quill, the gaffer for the black and yellow, third head coach in club history. Spent some time in MLS. Won the USL League One title a couple seasons ago. Set the all-time points record in the process. Turchi looking for Akeem Ward. Ward, the former Oakland Roots man. He is no stranger to playing here at the Lab. And here's Akeem Ward, and a big-time save from Andrew Thomas. Preserves the clean sheet here early on.
Yeah, and there was a last-ditch tackle by Kalen Ryden as well, who's left Ward in a heap there, but very committed early on. It's Ward involved again. He was the one who was involved in the tackle on Harry Swartz just a few moments ago, and you can see there, it's the follow-through, I think, from Kalen Ryden, and maybe gets a little slice of fortune there, but it's one of those where the follow-through is more dangerous than Ward. It looks like he's up on his feet and no harm done.
Akeem Ward joined Memphis back in January of this season. As I mentioned, former Oakland Roots man the past couple seasons. Long ball here is Ward. Just to lay out to head that back to Sanchez.
Again, it's just that work rate from Greg Hurst as well. Just forces him to have to deal with that ball way earlier than what he wanted to. So it turns into a diving header back pass back to the goalkeeper Sanchez there.
Turchi, he scored last match. It was the final play of the first half. It was off a corner, and he had an absolute dart of a header into the back of the net. He was unmarked. This shot goes just wide. It was Bruno Lapa, Brazilian, and it actually looks like it was deflected. And so Bank of America corner kick coming up, and we are past the 10-minute mark, and that means Amore Neapolitan Pizzeria says thank you for 10 amazing years as New Mexico's first and only certified pizzerias. So New Mexico will have an eye on their set-piece defending here. As I mentioned, Memphis able to score from a corner last time out. This ball goes in. Rivas is the first to send it out. Balls to Ward. And Kisiedu able to get the deflection, but he's flagged for offside.
A really good disciplined job there by the New Mexico United backline. As soon as the ball's cleared, I believe it was Rivas initially, and then they step up so quickly, leaving the Memphis players offside there. But you can see both teams bang at it early on in the game here. Both pushing for goals. New Mexico United searching for that second goal with the work rate and the press from Zico Bailey and from Greg Hurst. And Memphis, every time they come forward, just flooding numbers forward as well, attacking with 6-7 guys, leaving themselves a little exposed at the back to a counter-attack. But you can see that they're very committed to getting back in this game.
Here's Portillo. He too scored in his last time out. He's converted penalties in 3 out of the last 5 matches, Chris.
And you could almost see the last PK that he took last weekend against Phoenix there, where he almost changed his mind at the last minute. You know, maybe seeing that the goalkeeper had done his homework, and it's that cat and mouse. Does he go to his favourite left-hand side? And I believe that's the first one this season that he's gone to his right-hand side.
Goal Seymour leads the side, 40 interceptions this season. Also led the club in interceptions last season with 56. So he has really become a mainstay in this back line. Prior to coming over to New Mexico, spent some time in Ireland. And this one, beautiful run from Zico Bailey, pulls it back, and Zico Bailey has scored in New Mexico on top 2-0. 13 minutes in, the top has come off the lab.
And there's that little counter-attack we talked about just a few moments ago, and the little slotted pass, I think it was Moreno slotted the ball into Zico Bailey. A great run from deep, and it's so hard to mark. The midfielders don't know whether to track Zico Bailey, and the defenders aren't really dealing with him either. And then he just slots it through Sanchez's legs. 5-hole, nutmeg, icing on the cake. What a start by New Mexico United. You see there, Zico Bailey so calm there. He just sits the defender down with that little cut. Acts like he's going to shoot. Commits the defender. Pops it through his legs. What a finish.
And for Bailey, what a way to open up your New Mexico United account. He had scored 1 goal earlier this season. That was while playing for San Antonio. This, his first in black and yellow. And New Mexico now with a 2-0 lead just 14 minutes in.
What a start. I mean, in such an important game as well. New Mexico United, needing to go 3 wins on the bounce to absolutely guarantee that they're in the playoffs. And they've only managed to do that once so far this season, to my knowledge. And to get that 2-goal cushion early on as well, clearly, everyone knows the cliches. 2-goal lead, hardest goal, next goal is absolutely key. And you can see by that how animated Coach Quill is on the sideline. He wants New Mexico United to go and get the 3rd.
Chance of Zico Bailey echoing out from the curse as DaCosta plays this cross in. Connects on the far side with Kelly. And just sending that one over, Bruno Lapa, as Memphis quickly looking to pull one back.
I mean, great reaction by Memphis there, and you can see, again, the numbers they had. They had 6 guys in the attack again. It's just the back 4 staying back, and then there's a huge gap between the midfield and the attackers, which is the space that Zico Bailey was able to exploit earlier on. But they are flooding guys forward again, and it's cost them a goal, I'd say, in that second goal, but there's goals in this game. You can just see it's just such an wide open game right now.
Rivas connects with Harry Swartz. Moreno now in space. Moreno plays the cross in, and it's dealt with. New Mexico on the front foot. Keys to the match here, brought to you by Garcia Automotive Group. For New Mexico, it's simple, Chris. Win and they're in. Withstand the early storm. I think they've done a great job of that, and the Kings of Chaos have returned. If you would have looked even as recently as about 3-4 weeks ago on some soccer websites that give you playoff predictions, there's models, all of that kind of stuff, New Mexico at one point had about a 16% chance of getting into the postseason.
I actually thought it was lower than that.
Yeah, and it very well could have been. It just so happens at that one time that I looked, it was at 16%, but to go from that to where they currently are. Wow.
And that's been the case all season long in the West. It's been who really wants it. And New Mexico United had that 4-game homestand, and they couldn't quite take advantage of it, and you would say that they lost their chance then. But then El Paso, Oakland Roots, RGV all had a chance to go on a little run to secure that spot, and no one's really grasped that chance. Except you've got to say New Mexico United in the last 2 games, they've taken the chance, and now I'm sure there's people from El Paso and Oakland Roots watching on right now and just praying that Memphis get back in this game.
Seymour able to head that one away.
It's funny, that was like the first lull in the game. It's been end-to-end. It's just been a track meet. Here we go again for New Mexico United, pinging the ball in behind.
So it falls. Harry Swartz already on a goal. Swartz has a goal, and Harry Swartz just sends it wide, Chris. Swartz searching for the brace.
And it's crazy because, like I was just saying, Memphis just kept the ball for 5-6 passes, tried to slow the game down because it's just absolutely frantic right now. And then New Mexico United win the ball back, a big win by Seymour. I think it was DaCosta was in behind him if he hadn't won that ball there. And within 3 passes, they're at the Memphis goal again. So it's been absolutely frantic so far this game.
2 goals in the opening 13 minutes. Harry Swartz in the 4th, and then Zico Bailey in the 13th, opening his New Mexico United account. Those are 2 players that this club will look to build around towards the future. Wando Moreno picking up the assist on the Zico Bailey goal. For Moreno, that's his 4th assist of the season. That ties Josh Dalling, Sergio Rivas, and Justin Portillo for the team lead when it comes to assists. Oh, and what a dummy there from Hurst. Swartz gets it over to Moreno, and it's just overhit. Moreno in the 8, still Moreno.
Really just that front 4 are just committing. Got Rivas in the middle, and he's breaking from deep. Moreno, Hurst, and Swartz on the other side with Zico Bailey joining in as well. Those guys just overpowering the back 4 of Memphis right now, and at full flight. It's if you're a New Mexico United fan, you just wonder, where has this been all season? You know, they've waited, and you know, part of it is they've waited until they're backed into a corner. New Mexico United have been playing playoff games for the last 4 games, so they're kind of used to the do-or-die situation, and it suits them as well, and they've settled into this game really well.
Here's Kelly making the run into the midfield. Looks to offload that to McFadden, has it poked off by Ryden. Moreno leading the break, just behind Rivas. Suggs, he's got options. Left-footed cross, dummied. It looked like Greg Hurst just wasn't quite expecting the dummy there. Hurst, dispossessed. Kelly on the turn. And Bailey takes it away. Bailey on a brace. Bailey, miscommunication there. Sergio Rivas. I'm sure there's a Memphis fan or two curious what exactly just happened and why the crowd was so excited during the run of play there. That's actually a match day tradition here at the Lab. It's called the Magic Minutes, and it starts at the 19-minute, 12-second mark, and that signifies when New Mexico was officially recognized as a state, and they will go all the way to the 20-minute, 18-second mark. That's to signify when New Mexico United were founded as a club. Ben Sherman Law injury report here for the Black and Yellow. Really no surprises. Christian Nava, Chris Wehan, Alex Tambakis still on the list. You mentioned it, Chris. It's been sort of an up and down season here for the Black and Yellow. They've been teetering around the playoff line for the vast majority of the season, but you look at the two injuries in the midfield. Christian Nava, just a couple weeks into the season. Chris Wehan, he's been out since June. June 10th was the last time Chris Wehan set foot onto the pitch, over 4 months ago. It was before Eric Quill took over, to put it into perspective.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, obviously, everyone knows what Chris Wehan has done for this club since its existence, essentially. You know, he had that stint at Orange County as well. But yeah, huge loss in terms of production offensively, and bringing in Nicky Hernandez, Zico Bailey. I think they've been maybe what was missing early on when Chris Wehan was missing from the team, and they've added that push from midfield that was maybe lacking there. So, but yeah, that's a tough one. And Christian Nava, we know how difficult it is for that to come back from that kind of injury, and it was great to see him do the first kick before the game today.
Malloy off the volley, and they'll send that wide. That's right, Christian Nava out taking part in some of the pregame festivities out here tonight. Got a big roar from the crowd. The Albuquerque local kid came up through the New Mexico United Academy. He was the first player to go from the academy to the first team. Everybody unfinished business here in 2023, but surely looking forward to the return of Christian Nava in 2024. You were talking about the contributions of Chris Wehan here for this club on and off the field. On the field, just to give you an idea, club's all-time leader in goals, 36, and assists, 17.
Yeah, it's been a shame for him. Obviously, I'm sure he's really frustrated, and there's been obviously been some kind of setback. I think the club were expecting him back maybe about a month or so ago for the run-in at least. So we obviously wish him all the best, and hopefully he's back for a game in a playoff game that all New Mexico United fans are hoping is upcoming here.
Bruno Lapa shown yellow here in the 24th minute, and he is furious to say the least. So that is the first yellow card shown here tonight by Sergei Demianchuk. Yellow cards brought to you by the guys at Ferguson Law Firm. You've been fouled. Call Ferguson Law Firm, New Mexico's leading personal injury attorneys for over 40 years. Rodrigo da Costa having words with Sergio Rivas.
And you can see what Rivas is saying, and he's a lot closer than what we were as well. He was indicating it was cleats up. It's similar to the one that Ward, the tackle that he had early on as well. So you know, there's been a couple of tasty challenges early on as well.
25 minutes gone by here at the Lab. Regular season finale for New Mexico United and Memphis 901 FC. Tyler Ortega here alongside Chris Hurst. Blackout night. Playoff implications on the line. Chris, just thinking back over the past 5 years of New Mexico United football, hard to remember a home match with this much weight behind it. Perhaps behind maybe the season finale in 2019, which was a fairly similar position, where New Mexico had to win. They needed another result to go their way. And maybe the very inaugural home opener. Think about it.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It was a lot of pressure, but it was pressure that, unfortunately, New Mexico United players have put on themselves. You know, with that middle part of the season where they just weren't able to grind out results. So yeah, but it's huge, and so far they've reacted to it.
Sergei Demianchuk, the man in the middle here tonight, and it's going to be a Bank of America corner kick here for Memphis. Malloy will send this in, and it's headed out by Arturo Astorga, graduate of the New Mexico United U23s. First player to come through the U23 pipeline, the El Paso native. Made 4 appearances, all 4 of those starts here recently. He's got 90 minutes in every single match. And there he is again, heading that ball away.
You can just see after the corner, New Mexico United struggling to get back in their shape. They've got Josh Suggs on the right and Sorga on the left here, and the kind of round pegs and square holes right now until now they're starting to sort themselves out a little bit. But there was a little moment of confusion there, and Memphis unable to capitalize on it, but a decent little spell of possession here. Again, this is only the second time that Memphis has really been able to get the foot on the ball, slow the game down and play the game at their pace.
Looking for Kisiedu there. It's going to fall to Kisiedu. Here's Paul now, and Paul unleashes one. It goes over the crossbar. Andy Thomas being kept on his toes here.
I think that Thomas maybe pulled his hand away at the last second. He knew it was sailing over, but he definitely went full extension just to make sure.
Andrew Thomas on loan here from Seattle Sounders. Made 15 MLS Next Pro appearances for Tacoma Defiance this season. Notched 3 clean sheets during that time. Since coming over to New Mexico, 15 saves, conceded 7 goals, has a save percentage of about 67%. And just all things considered, the situation that he came into, he has done very well here, Chris.
Oh, for sure. I mean, some big-time saves. I mean, look, just the last performance, Phoenix Rising. That from front to back was potentially one of the most complete performances of the season. Thomas had to do his part. Defense had to do their part. Midfield controlled it when they could. And yeah, and obviously the attacking players like Greg Hurst drawn another PK. It's just little things like that where from 1 through 11, the New Mexico United players have shown up towards the end of the season.
Malloy plays this forward for Lapa, and Kalen Ryden is there for the block. Bank of America corner kick coming up here for Memphis 901. It's going to be their 4th corner of the half. Malloy sends this one in. It's the outswinger, punched away by Thomas. Thomas holds tri-citizenship. He's got a parent from Russia, a parent from Great Britain, and he grew up here in the U.S. Long ball here, looking for Harry Swartz. It's going to fall to Hurst off the deflection. Eventually cleared out by Vom Stieg. Memphis had a pretty successful season here, looking to tie up a top 4 finish in the Eastern Conference. As we mentioned, Chris needing just a point here tonight to do so. With a loss, they will allow Louisville the opportunity to catch them if they're able to get a result tomorrow. I believe they're playing against Rowdies.
Playing against a Rowdies team that really don't have a whole lot to play for, so that's the do you rest players, do you try and maintain some momentum going into the playoffs, because they can't catch Pittsburgh in first place and they can't be caught by Battery either, so they are stuck in second. So it really is that catch-22 of, do you try and go in, especially when they're already, their last game was a loss as well, so do they try and get a win and go full strength? And so Memphis really need to try and eke out a result here tonight if they can. Obviously they've made it hard for themselves, but still lots of game to play.
And to tell you about Select, the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe, visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Kalen Ryden making his 108th USL Championship appearance in black and yellow here tonight. Daniel Bruce is still your all-time leader in club appearances. 114 for the Englishman. Here's Paul. And for Memphis, this 2-0 hole that they're having to climb out of, this has sort of been a trend this season. Conceded 10 goals in the first 15 minutes of the first half. Only San Antonio and Hartford have conceded more with 11. And Kisiedu, he's going to get a talking to here from Sergei Demianchuk.
Kisiedu just fell for the Seymour special. I think we'll start calling it that, where he just digs his heels in, feels the pressure from the attacking player, and essentially falls down and wins the free kick. Hugely frustrating for attacking players, as the defensive player can't go anywhere, and it just gets him out of jail for free.
Interception there by Zico Bailey, and eventually dispossessed. Yeah, and for Kisiedu, he's a veteran player, just 24 years old, over 130 appearances in the USL Championship under his belt. He seems to have found his scoring boots here over the last 3 seasons, Chris. 16 goals for 901 over the last 3 years. Fadden. Paul plays it forward. This is Akeem Ward. Paul goes back to Ward. Working in some tight spaces here, our 901. Kelly. Looking far post for the run of Aiden McFadden and just unable to connect.
You see Memphis 901, they're enjoying a decent spell of possession here the last few minutes or so, and New Mexico United, I don't know if they were just riding that wave, that adrenaline wave early on. They've certainly slowed things down, not attacking with the same intensity that they were early on. And Memphis having a little bit of joy there again. Seymour just forced to put the ball out. Memphis, they've stepped about 10-15 yards higher, getting the press a little higher on the back line of New Mexico United and forced them into some mistakes now.
I touched on how many goals Memphis have conceded in the opening 15 minutes. How about in the opening half this season? 34 games played. Memphis have conceded 30 first half goals in 34 games played. And if you're wondering where that ranks in the championship, Hartford have conceded 38, Las Vegas Lights 31. If you're curious, I'll give you a moment to check the standings to see where they are.
See Moreno and Rivas right now, they've just done a little switch. I'm not sure if that's directed from the sideline or whether Moreno was getting a little frustrated, not really getting a whole lot of the ball out on the left-hand side there. So, and he's just drifted into that central area, and Rivas is in acres of space on this left-hand side, but New Mexico United just trapped on the right now.
Be a throw-in coming up here. Actually, it's going to be a Fiesta Auto free kick. So Swartz, the goal scorer, drew the foul. And since conceding that second goal, Memphis have really had the lion's share of the possession, over 66%. New Mexico looking for a third here. Portillo plays this in. Ryden gets ahead to it and finds the waiting arms of Richard Sanchez.
Yeah, a decent connection on there. Obviously, it was a contested ball, but he still got a decent purchase on it and at least tested the keeper, but it was relatively comfortable for Sanchez. But yeah, we just mentioned the possession, you could tell, and the main reason you can tell is just territory. Memphis really starting to push New Mexico United back, probing, trying to find any kind of weaknesses. Another ball over the top, trying to find DaCosta there and feed off scraps in behind there, and that's what they've been limited to. But there's been some decent passages of play. Ward and Quisiedo on that left-hand side. You can tell that as far as New Mexico United are concerned, they're going to be a handful over on that left-hand side.
Ward getting a talking to from Demianchuk, and called back for the talking to. Ward, you can see there, looks like just towing the line. Suggs wins possession. Here's Rivas now on the far side. Moreno was looking to thread it through for Greg Hurst there in the 18. This one's going to fall to Bailey, and a challenge from Lapa on point. Seymour loses possession. Here's Kelly. Quisiedo now. Quisiedo is so fun to watch with the ball at his feet. Real playmaker for this Memphis 901 FC side. Here's Lapa. Let's go back to Paul. Fans, don't miss a minute of the action in 2023. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN Plus, the home to the USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. DaCosta with the flick. Quisiedo tracks this one down, comes back to Ward now. Kelly. Bailey on his back. He's back out, it's Lapa. Now Paul. Memphis probing around the 18. I think if you're New Mexico, Chris, I think the goal is just to get to the half with a 0 on their side of the scoreboard.
Yeah, 100%. Like I say, Memphis are a big push right now, trying to go into halftime, which is maybe the opposite of what you would expect. You know, the altitude and teams tend to maybe wilt a little bit towards the end of the end of the half, or you would at least expect that fitness-wise. But yeah, they're really starting to push bodies forward again. First 20 minutes is, we talked about it, it was like a track meet. It was you go, now I go. Now it's a lot more structured what they're trying to do. They're building from the back, everyone's involved, everyone's touching the ball. A lot more methodical in the way that they're playing, and it's really starting to ask some questions, and New Mexico United are having to be really, really disciplined in their shape to keep them at arm's length right now.
Astorga with the header. Here's the goal scorer, Zico Bailey. Moving forward, and just a little too much weight on that one for Astorga to track down.
That right-hand side's pretty interesting with New Mexico United, how interchangeable Harry Swartz and Astorga are. Astorga breaking from deep, and Harry Swartz is so used to playing right back as well. Just slots in there, and it just appears so natural right now, and that's pretty exciting. If Harry Swartz has struggled with injuries most of his New Mexico United career, but if he can stay fit and that can become a little partnership on the right-hand side, that's pretty exciting for the club.
Kelly looking to connect with Kisiedu there. Instead, Moreno turns and he's going the other way. Hurst holding his run. Flag goes up on Greg Hurst. Bulls last couple seasons, and who knows, maybe none bigger than the one he scored tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly, it rattled Memphis so early on. Clearly, you know, it took them a while to kind of gain their composure after that, but such a huge game, and what a way to settle the nerves by getting that early goal as well, and then obviously followed up with a second. But that first goal really did put New Mexico United on the right path there tonight, and like you said earlier, trying to get to half-time, 2-0 up, then they can regroup and work out what the game plan is for the second half here.
Turchi poked that one forward, and looked like just a miscommunication there. 43 minutes gone by here at the Lab. New Mexico United on top, 2-0. Eric Quill, animated as always on the touchline. Rivas. That poked away. Kelly goes back to Malloy. Great link-up play there as McFadden gets the cross in, but he just overhits it.
I think it was Kelly there, just a little, it might have been DaCosta, just a little nutmeg on Josh Suggs on the way through, a little one-touch as well. The ball by McFadden, disappointing in the end. Astorga, you could see he was begging for it to go out of play, and it just wouldn't, but then managed to deal with it and get the deflection and win the throw-in as well.
Richard Sanchez in goal for Memphis 901. He was actually acquired just a couple of weeks ago. His transaction completed with Hartford Athletic. He was received via transfer. It was completed prior to the roster freeze on September 22nd. Made his first appearance last week for the club in a 4-0 victory over El Paso Locomotive. No clean sheet here tonight. That was gone after about 3.5 minutes. As Harry Swartz got the party started here for New Mexico. Win and in for the black and yellow here tonight. Whereas Memphis looking to spoil the party, walk away with the point, and lock up a home playoff match. Now, it's important that we don't understate how big it is to have home field advantage in the playoffs. Something New Mexico United have never done.
Yeah, I was just about to say, and that has to be the that was mentioned in the press conference when Coach Quill took over. It was New Mexico United have been a 7th, 8th, not a sneaking in. That sounds bad, but there's been more than one occasion, like tonight, where 3 weeks ago you would never have imagined they were in this position. So they've kind of sneaking into the playoff picture, and they need to be more than that. And I think New Mexico United fans will be pleased and refreshed to hear that. Everyone within the club, the coaching staff and the front office all agree with that as well.
Halftime here at the Lab. New Mexico on top of Memphis 901, 2-0. Harry Swartz and Zico Bailey, your goal scorers. Chris, your thoughts on the first 45?
I mean, a frantic start. New Mexico United got their noses in front and then doubled down. And slowly but surely, as the half has gone on, Memphis have grown into the game, struggled to test Andrew Thomas too much, but certainly grew more and more into the game. It's going to be really interesting to see how they come out at the start of the second half.
Halftime here at the Lab, your score, New Mexico 2, Memphis 0, presented by First Financial Credit Union. We'll step aside. We'll be right back.
Since 1966, BIOS has provided quality appliances, electronics, and mattresses to Albuquerque and New Mexico.
And from day one, we've done everything as a team. Our commitment to our team, our community, and innovation has allowed us to serve Albuquerque and our surrounding areas for more than 50 years. We are proud to partner with New Mexico United.
Because both of us believe in the values of loyalty, service, and togetherness.
Our longevity and growth is because we are united.
Somos unidos.
Flamenco is a language. Every step a verse, every movement a phrase. Born in Spain and expressed here in New Mexico.
Dime que sí, dime que no. Anda, dime primita de mi corazón.
Concert season is here at Sandia Resort and Casino. Join us this summer at Albuquerque's best concert venue for a season to remember. June 23rd, Ludacris. July 20th, Old Dominion. July 28th, Buddy Guy and Kenny Wayne Shepherd. Tickets available now at sandiacasino.com or the box office. The 2023 summer concert season at Sandia Resort and Casino. Close to home, far from ordinary.
Part desert, part mountain, part river. Albuquerque offers outdoor exhilaration you can't find anywhere else. Spend the perfect day hiking, biking, or even hot air ballooning, all within minutes of a vibrant city. Whether you're exploring hundreds of miles of trails or hundreds of years of history, Albuquerque will take your breath away. Start planning your Albuquerque adventure at visitabq.org.
Back here at the Lab, New Mexico United dancing above the playoff line as things stand 2-0 on top of Memphis 901 FC. My name's Tyler Ortega, joined as always by Chris Hurst and Zico Bailey, Harry Swartz, your goal scorers. Halftime brought to you by Smith's, fresh for everyone. Chris, our last halftime show this season, so let's have some fun with it. Let's start off by having a look at our standings here, and lots going on here in the playoff picture. As we've been mentioning all night, for New Mexico, currently towing the playoff line in 8th place. A win sees the black and yellow in, and it would see RGV out.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that can be decided tonight. You know, quick math, which was never my strong point, but I believe that's so. RGV are probably watching with some interest right now and hoping that Memphis finds some keys in the second half. But yeah, New Mexico United jump above El Paso with, as results stand, and would be going to San Antonio as it stands right now. So ever changing. I'm sure there'll be many more twists and turns, not only tonight but tomorrow as the games are going on as well. But as it stands right now, sitting pretty for New Mexico United.
Yeah, and for New Mexico, if they draw here tonight, they would need an Oakland loss or draw and Monterey Bay to lose or draw to make it into the playoffs. If New Mexico happened to lose this one tonight, they would need 3 results to go their way tomorrow. That's Oakland losing, Monterey Bay losing or drawing, RGV losing or drawing. That's how they get their way in. So that is the full breakdown on the playoff situation for the black and yellow. As we move on here for a look at our news and notes from around the league. Pittsburgh winning the USL Championship Players' Shield. That is the first time the club has ever won that. That goes to the team with the best regular season record, so congrats to the Hounds up at Highmark on capturing the Players' Shield. Eastern Conference teams clinching left. Western Conference teams also punching their tickets. Sac Republic, SAFC, Orange County, San Diego Loyal, which you absolutely love to see. They're going to get one more home game at Torero. Colorado Springs and Phoenix. As we've been mentioning, New Mexico winning tonight punches their tickets. Look here at the schedule. Big matches on deck tomorrow. Make sure to tune in. It is the final regular season match day of the 2023 regular season. Switchbacks will be doing battle with Phoenix Rising. Loudoun taking on RGV. OC doing battle with their in-state rival Monterey Bay. El Paso and Oakland, that is probably going to be the one to watch here if you're a New Mexico United fan and things don't go your way here tonight. Sac Republic will be taking on Miami FC, and Las Vegas Lights will be taking on San Diego Loyal. Look at our scores here from around the league here over the last weekend. Memphis, as we mentioned, putting 4 past Locomotive. New Mexico picking up their first ever league win out in the Valley as they beat Phoenix Rising 2-1. Sac Republic putting 3 past the Toros, and San Diego Loyal doubling up Oakland Roots in their final regular season match at Torero 4-2. A look at our team of the week here in week 31. Steinwasser getting the nod in goal. We see Turchi and Kisiedu here from Memphis in the team of the week as well, and Rivas getting the nod as your eFootball player of the week out of the Miami FC. Halftime continues here at the Lab. We'll go ahead and step aside. We'll be back with some highlights and some first half stats.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. If your goal is to
Halftime here at the Lab. It is blackout night. New Mexico United on top of Memphis 901. 2-0 here so far. Harry Swartz, Zico Bailey, your goal scorers. Your halftime score brought to you by First Financial Credit Union. Chris, let's have a look at how things unfolded through that first half and getting the party started just 4 minutes in. Harry Swartz, the Boston native, notching goal number 6 of the campaign.
Yeah, you can see just a wicked ball in by Justin Portillo. The faintest of touches, or maybe it missed everyone. I still can't see, and that's the 6th time I've watched this goal. And Harry Swartz completely unmarked at the back post there. I think it was Paul was supposed to be picking him up and just completely wide open. I think he was as surprised as anyone that the ball found him at the back post. And there he was, just to tuck it home.
And not long after, it was Ward coming through with a shot on goal. Andy Thomas, huge save.
Huge save, and to my memory, I believe that was the only save potentially he had to make that I can think of. A few shots that went over the bar, went wide, but the only one that really tested him, and it was big moment because not long after that, Seco Bailey, great turn inside, sold the dummy that he was going to take the shot with his left foot. Great ball by Moreno as well, big shout out to that. And that touch there, which just sells the defender, and then he slots it so calmly, just between the goalkeeper's legs. And what a finish, what a way to start your goal scoring career for New Mexico United on the final day.
Taxi for Akeem Ward as Zico Bailey opens up his black and yellow account in New Mexico as they sit here 2-0 up on Memphis 901. And now let's have a look at our first half stats as New Mexico and Memphis. This one's been pretty tight so far. Memphis, after conceding the second goal, they've really dominated the lion's share of possession.
Yeah, and most of that has come in the last, let's say, 25 minutes of the half. They really, once they were able to settle the game down and to get it away from being a track meet, they were able to maintain the ball and really try and pull New Mexico United out of position. But New Mexico United have been so disciplined, so while they haven't had as much of the ball, they've still been relatively comfortable, I'd say. And Coach Quill will be quite happy with how their shape and how disciplined they've been without the ball, and they've still caused an issue on the counter-attack as well.
Massive points on the line here for both sides. Memphis needs at least a draw to lock up a home playoff spot. New Mexico wants to see this result out, punch their ticket to the postseason. We'll be back with the second half after this.
National Roofing, serving New Mexico for over 45 years. From complete re-roofs to our 24/7 service department, let us help protect and extend the life of your roof today. We work with you every step of the way to solve your roofing needs quickly and professionally. Our team of roofers are always on top of it, bringing high-quality commercial roofing to New Mexico homeowners. National Roofing, local company, national name. Call 505-883-3000 or go to nationalroofing.com to schedule a roof walk today.
Well, folks, it's only 8 a.m. and it's going to be another hot one. Today's high is 85 degrees with lows ranging in the upper 50s. Tomorrow's more of the same, plus some light wind coming in from the northeast. Coming up at 8:30, Paul's got an exclusive.
Babe, it's 8 a.m.
Fried chicken, better with Pepsi.
The estimated hold time is now 96 minutes.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
The C&M beverage program is split into actually 4 disciplines: beer production, wine production, distilled spirits production, and beverage management. This program is for anyone that has a passion for the beverage industry. We are running a 100% employment rate, and the goal is to prepare all of our students to enter into the workforce in their chosen field in the beverage production industry. If you're a fan of spirits, beer, wine, this is for you. So enroll now.
Second half on deck here between New Mexico United and Memphis 901 FC. Tyler Ortega here alongside Chris Hurst, coming to you here live at the Lab in Albuquerque. Chris, the most wonderful time of the year here in the land of enchantment. Balloon Fiesta going on, as you mentioned, just a few miles to the north of us. One of the most special times of the year, and for those that are watching that have maybe never seen it, never heard of it, I encourage you, pull up the Google machine, look up Balloon Fiesta, and just behold the sights. It is absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I'm actually watching the Balloon Fiesta fireworks right now off to the north. The finale for Friday night after the glow. I believe we all got stuck in the traffic on the way over here. It's a crazy time in New Mexico, but I was down there at 4:30 a.m. this morning. Absolutely beautiful, and I've been every year for the last 19 years. And it never gets old. And
so there's your sign. If you're somebody that's watching from outside of Albuquerque, outside of New Mexico, and you were thinking, I might want to go down there, check out a match at the Lab, do it. come down specifically in October. Check out the Balloon Fiesta. They call it the Land of Enchantment for a reason. Back to the action here. New Mexico looking to punch their ticket to the 2023 postseason. So New Mexico, you know they're not going to try to rest on this 2-0 lead. They're going to be hunting for a third.
I mean, we said right after the second goal that, insert cliche here, that third goal is going to be key. If Memphis get it, it is going to become very, very nervy in this building. If New Mexico United get it, you've got to imagine it's lights out. So next goal wins.
Next goal wins. That was the proclamation on the playground once the school bell rang.
Still to this day, talk to even my sessions. It's, when we know it's getting too dark, it's like, okay, it's next goal wins. So you're not that old, is what I'm saying.
Fair enough. Here's Ward, looking for Kisiedu. Swartz comes flying in, draws the foul.
And that's Ward getting another talking to, and that's the third time the referees had to address him personally. You've got to imagine the next time he says anything, there's probably a card involved. He's probably lucky that hasn't already happened.
Just one yellow card issued so far this evening. That to Bruno Lapa in the 24th minute. So it goes all the way back to Sanchez. Sanchez spent some time in Liga MX. Also spent time when the MLS, has over 30 appearances under his belt for FC Dallas and Chicago Fire. He's also got 16 Mexican national team caps. Great touch from Astorga. El Salvadorian Amando Moreno picked up the assist here tonight on Zico Bailey's goal. Fourth of the season for Moreno. And for Amando Moreno, there were question marks as to whether he was going to play in this game. Actually, called by the El Salvadorian national team for some international duty here this weekend, and I'm guessing probably going to be on the plane either tonight or tomorrow to get out there to training.
That's crazy. That's the one thing that isn't quite right with soccer, and I'm going to say it in the US. That's the whole rest of the world, England, everywhere, they all stop when it's international break, and the USL, the MLS as well. They just keep on rolling. And imagine if Moreno wasn't playing tonight in such a huge game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at. You look at everything on the line here tonight for New Mexico. Literally, the season on the line. Granted, there is a possibility that they can still go through without 3 points here tonight, although you would need multiple results to go your way, as we mentioned earlier. So we've got a number of substitutions here for Memphis. So we'll do our best to get you all of those. From what I could tell, look like Emerson Hindman, Graham Smith, and Rashawn Daly all entering the match for 901. And so Stephen Glass, Chris, going to the bench early here in the second half.
I mean, clearly that was premeditated. I don't know if the guys who knew who have been substituted, I don't know if they knew that they were only going to get 3 minutes, but maybe he just wanted to give it a little extra time to avoid any kind of any injuries or anything like that. But yeah, 3 minutes into the second half, why not just make those changes at halftime?
So Memphis this season, their record when they trail at halftime, 1 win, 4 draws, 6 losses. So 11 times they found themselves on the wrong side of the score sheet at the break. Just once they've been able to rally and come away with all 3. New Mexico, on the flip side, when leading at half, 7 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. Only 3 times they've gone on to surrender points. This will be Malloy. Basically like a short corner from this area. Malloy sends this one in, and that's exactly what Memphis were looking for to start off this second half. 901 have pulled one back.
Yeah, big defender, Stieg there, just rising up, and it was a challenged header as well, but he got up early and just pops it in the bottom corner. Huge goal. Nothing Thomas could do there. Got so much power on the header as well. Great ball in. What a great start to the second half for Memphis.
That was exactly what they were looking for, as Aaron Malloy picking up another assist on a corner. And Chris, you had it right. It was Vom Stieg, the big center back, notching the 51st minute goal. And as they like to say, game on.
Yeah, and we said that next goal was important, and you could see they just managed to get the big centre-back matched up against Harry Swartz as well at the back post. That's a matchup you love, and Malloy adds to his assist total. 7 so far, 8 now on the season. You can see when he's putting in crosses like that from dead balls.
First goal for Carson Vom Stieg. Spent last season at Loudoun, made 22 appearances there. Did not find the back of the net. His 18th appearance here tonight for Memphis. And what a big goal that is. So New Mexico now with some real work to do. It's Hindman. Seymour will see this back to Thomas. So the 3 subs that came off, we did confirm one was Bruno Lapa. Kelly was the other, and Laurent Kisiedu the third. Lapa, you can see that substitution coming. He picked up a yellow just 24 minutes in, and so Memphis want to make sure they're not heading into the second half. Any liabilities on the pitch. Fiasano free kick. Is Amando Moreno, the El Salvadorian international. So it looks like Memphis, they've just transitioned to a back 3 here in the second half. You see Graham Smith anchoring as the central defender. Long ball hit for Akeem Ward, and it's going to go out for a New Mexico goal kick. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access. That's on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. Plus, you can hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. We're also 55 minutes into this one, 55th minute. That means we are united in health. Join New Mexico United in our efforts to create a healthier and more vibrant New Mexico at unitedinhealthnm.com. Suggs plays this back to Thomas. Thomas making it late there. Stally was closing down. As Hurst was looking to play the run of Moreno, instead deflected by the defender. But that's encouraging if you're New Mexico.
Yeah, that's what they need to do a little more of. It's been, since probably the 25th minute on in the first half, it's been pretty much Memphis asking all the questions. New Mexico United need to start generating some offense again. How nervy Memphis looked at the start of the game just because of the intensity that New Mexico United brought there, and it's really dropped off. It really has dropped off, so they need to try and find a way, and it's so hard when now it's stick or twist. Do you try and go for the third goal, or do you hold on to what you've got? And I know how hard that is as a coach and as a player to make that decision, especially when you've kind of settled into a rhythm of not necessarily having the ball a ton. So New Mexico United need to find a spark from somewhere.
Smith goes back to Sanchez. Vom Steeg, the goal scorer. 51st minute for Carson Vom Steeg. Back to Smith. Graham Smith, his 29th appearance for 901. It's his first appearance as a sub this season. New Mexico with some defending to do here in their own 18.
So you see Memphis settled into a 3-5-2, a little bit of company up top for DaCosta with Daly up there with him. Hinman just playing just in behind him, and both McFadden and Ward have just been pushed slightly higher as wing backs now, so still has to do some defensive duties as well, but playing 15-20 yards higher than what they were in the first half.
Big interception there from Greg Hurst, looking to play it forward for Harry Swartz. The offside flag goes up. Here's Heineman. Finds Paul. Back over to DaCosta now. DaCosta with a no-look pass. Ball hit. Looking for McFadden on the far side. Thomas all over it. Suggs now looking for Moreno. Moreno on his horse to track this one down. 10 goals this season for the El Salvadorian international Armando Moreno. 12 caps for La Selecta.
Did you see that little change of pace he had there? It looked like Suggs had overhit that ball by quite a bit, and then he just turned the jets on there and got there with room to spare as well. But you could see he was begging his teammates to get up there with him. Very little support for Moreno.
Through ball looking for Heineman. Finds the waiting hands of Andrew Thomas. Here's Rivas, Albuquerque native. Scored 14 goals since last season, or since 2021, excuse me, since joining the Black and Yellow. Making his 82nd league appearance for his hometown club tonight is Rivas. And for a player like Sergio Rivas, second leading scorer this season, Chris, 11 goal involvements, 7 goals, 4 assists. He's been stellar.
Just watching the game here, and you can just see New Mexico United just lacking something there. Greg Hurst, he's just flicking the ball on, and obviously he's the highest player for New Mexico United, so you can see there was a bunch of very frustrated figures, palms up to the sky, shrugging their shoulders, wondering what was going on. And, I wouldn't be surprised if there'll be a change, 60th minute. I'm sure the coaching staff in New Mexico United are thinking maybe someone like Nicky Hernandez, a little more fire in midfield, and maybe Moreno goes up top if Hurst is the one to be pulled off. Something along those lines would be maybe where I would go with it.
So I'm just looking at some of the names on the bench for Eric Quill. You mentioned Nicky Hernandez. They're looking to shore up the midfield. You can also go Sam Hamilton. Then you look at that front line, if you're going to be hunting for a third goal, obviously Nicky Hernandez is serviceable from the midfield, but then you've got Daniel Bruce, Jacobo Reyes, Schneider Borgelin, all forwards. Here's Hurst. He's got Rivas on the opposite side, and Greg Hurst slots it home past Sanchez. New Mexico up by 2. And once again, the black and yellow above the playoff line.
Wow, I mean, right as I was saying that, maybe he would be a player who was to make way, because he was looking like a very isolated figure. And even then, he was so isolated. He was about 25 yards higher up than anyone else in the black and yellow of New Mexico United. But he looked so calm and composed for someone who's maybe struggled in front of goal this year. How he takes this finish here and he pops it through Sanchez's legs again, I'm pretty sure. Such a, and what an important goal that might end up being.
That is the third goal of the season for the Scotsman, Greg Hurst, and it could not have come at a better time. As New Mexico, they were feeling as though things were on the ropes. Memphis on the front foot, having just scored 10 minutes ago. Greg Hurst with the insurance goal.
It wasn't just the United players, you could sense it in the stadium. It was very, very nervy. That goal for Memphis had really put a dampener on it was almost a party atmosphere. And that has reignited, like literally in the supporter section there with the smoke bombs going off. Again, huge, huge goal and taken so calmly by Greg Hurst there. Great finish.
Hurst, he's been in a good run of form here. Won the penalty that Portillo converted last weekend in Phoenix. This time, able to finish it himself.
Wasn't it the same against Lou City as well?
I believe you might be correct, yes. Moreno pokes this forward. New Mexico want more. Falls to Sanchez. Offside flag was up. Memphis will play on. Here's DaCosta. Hindman. DaCosta. Hindman. Eventually cleared out by Kalen Ryden. Greg Hurst goal brought to you by Enterprise Builders, built on a foundation of trust for over 30 years. For Greg Hurst making his 33rd appearance here tonight. He's appeared in all but one championship match for the black and yellow. Here's Swartz. Play on, says the official. And a yellow card on the way. I believe it's going to be shown to Paul there for the challenge on Zico Bailey.
Great refereeing there, allowing play to continue, making a mental note of who it was who we need to come back to, and Paul there, crunching tackle. I believe there was a crunching tackle on Kalen Ryden as well, right on the halfway line, leading up to this as well. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, New Mexico United all of a sudden firing on all cylinders again.
So it'll be a Bank of America corner kick as Paul shown yellow. This is Justin Portillo here to deliver. 65th minute, New Mexico. A win sees them into the postseason. Portillo whips this in. It's cleared out. Von Steeg got ahead to it. A yellow card shown to Paul, brought to you by guys at Ferguson Law Firm. Portillo again. Locks one in. Ryden is going to be called for the foul. And It looks like Demianchuk is he's going to have the trainer come out anyway, as Turchi looked like he took a blow to the head, and so good officiating.
Yeah, he did the right thing then. Turchi just jumped right up like nothing was wrong there, but you can see Keelan Wright ran from a long way. You can see there he comes from 10 yards away, only got eyes for the ball, doesn't once look at him. Look at Turchi. You can see his eyes on the ball the whole time. Actually wins the ball riding as well. Gets up early. I think Turchi's just a little caught off guard a little bit. There was no foul there, but he does the right thing. Stops it as soon as he suspects that there was a head injury, and you can see it seems like he's good to continue.
Demianchuk, the official who has awarded the most penalties in the USL Championship this season, 11. Mexico's prior match, and we're going to see a yellow card shown to the Memphis technical area. Not sure if it was shown to Stephen Glass or who. And it was to Stephen Glass. So he will retreat and have a seat back on the bench.
I won't mention Stephen Glass's playing career with Newcastle. It's anything to do with that.
Says the Mackham sitting next to me in the booth. I'm going to say you conveniently pull up the photo of your daughters in their Sunderland kits as you say that. Back to Turchi. Greg Hurst on the score sheet here tonight. And for Hurst, it's been a while since he was on the score sheet, to say the least. He had 2 goals this season, Chris. Both of those goals came in the match on April 29th against Orange County. Scored in the 22nd and 63rd minutes. Has not found the back of the net since, but again, massive from the Scotsman.
Yeah, and I think he's kind of played himself into form the last couple of weeks. And again, it just come from sheer hard work, energy, hard nose, just running, winning the 2 PKs back-to-back games again. And he's just kind of found himself, and then that running and that work rate, found himself clean through on goal there. And again, you wouldn't watch that goal and say, oh, that's a guy who hasn't scored since April. He looked so calm and just slotted the ball between the wickets there of Sanchez. And yeah, it just looked like someone who'd scored 10, 15 goals this season. But that's maybe where New Mexico United, the inconsistency's been this year, is a foil for Armando Moreno, a forward who's in double digits as well in New Mexico United. I'd say for a couple of years now, haven't really found that number 9.
I feel like that's completely fair to say. So they've brought in a number of them. Storga looking to play this for Rivas, just goes over the head of the Albuquerque native. Now in the 70th minute of this match. 70th minute brought to you by REDW, an Albuquerque-based CPA firm celebrating 70 years of keeping New Mexico moving forward. So Chris, 20 minutes plus stoppage left in this one. If you're Memphis, what are you going to try to do to walk out of here with a point?
It's all gone quiet though, right? Like I think this has definitely worked for them better than what the first half. They got caught on the counter-attack a little bit, but being more methodical in their play, they're not just pumping balls forward like what they were doing early on in the game, which New Mexico United were just lapping up. They are actually, managing to maintain possession and keep the ball. But again, there's the goal, which was from a set piece. in open play, they are really struggling to carve New Mexico United open. The front two have really been ineffective since they've combined up there. New Mexico United done a decent job on Costa, dare I say it. He's been very quiet so far tonight. Incoming.
Battling there in a heavy challenge as Ryden goes to ground. No foul called. Ball bouncing around the 18. And Ryden pointing back to that spot again is the box. It's Daly this time. Is that poked away? Moreno fouled. Play on, says the official. Here's Rivas. He's got Hurst. Greg Hurst on a brace. Greg Hurst, the Scotsman, bags a brace here tonight. It's his second brace of the campaign. A 4 spot for New Mexico into the playoffs for the black and yellow.
Wow, I mean, out of nowhere. You say the last goals that Greg Hurst scored was a brace against Orange County, and here he is, like London buses. There's his second goal of the night. And again, another calm finish. And the movement of Greg Hurst before the ball, you could see he was desperately trying to keep himself on side. Sergio Rivas just weighted the pass perfectly as well. And he just held his run just to keep himself on. And then once he was through, was there ever a doubt?
Absolute class from the Scotsman here tonight. Greg Hurst with 2 massive goals in the second half for New Mexico. Both of those goals brought to you by Enterprise Builders, built on a foundation of trust for over 40 years. Greg Hurst, cool as can be on the break. That is 2 for the Scotsman here tonight.
Paul Parker ran just as fast as Greg Hurst there did to join in the celebrations with the curse.
And amidst the goal celebrations, the official attendance announced here tonight, 11,385 of the black and yellow faithful here tonight to see their team punch their ticket into the postseason.
And again, what an effort when so much going on in town and so many distractions, so many excuses to not come to the match. Like there's an early balloon fiesta again tomorrow with the solar eclipse that's going to be going on in New Mexico. The balloon glow tonight, and still for it to have nearly 12,000 people here in the gate is unbelievable support.
Largest crowd of the season here for the black and yellow, behind only the home opener against San Diego Loyal. Beating that number from the home opener by just over 100 as the offside flag goes up on Moreno.
Sure, the Memphis coaching staff are absolutely gutted with the way they're setting off. They got themselves back in the game with the header from the free kick for Von Steeg, and then very similar to the first half when New Mexico United scored that first goal. It wasn't long after they got the second, and Memphis reeling after that third goal from Greg Hurst. Not long between the goals again, and they've conceded very quickly, close together, and essentially just gifted the game away.
11-minute brace for Greg Hurst, scoring in the 61st and 72nd minutes. Effectively putting the nail in the coffin of 901 FC here on Friday the 13th. Still 15 minutes plus stoppage left. He's going to fall to Daly here is Ryden on his back. Great defensive work there from Astorga and Kalen Ryden. Once again, all the way back to Sanchez here for Memphis. Fans, the USL is celebrating Hispanic Latino Heritage Month with stories, events, and more, bringing to life this special celebration across the league. Go to uslsoccer.com/Hispanic-heritage to learn more. Here's Malloy. Switches play, finds Akeem Ward. The 27-year-old Akeem Ward goes out. It's going to be a goal kick for Thomas. So it looks like New Mexico will make their first change of the evening here. With it just under 14 minutes plus stoppage left. It's Sam Hamilton replacing the goal scorer, Harry Swartz. So some defensive help coming in here for Eric Quill's side.
Yeah, just shoring things up, make sure there's no nervy minutes at the end of the game here. You could also, I was having a little giggle there, you could see Andrew Thomas just giving some instructions to the ball managers around the side of the pitch. Obviously there was a bit of a, one of the ones from the Lou City game became, the young lady became pretty famous for following instructions to a T.
So for Sam Hamilton, he comes on tonight making his 107th appearance for the black and yellow. He's just one of 4 players that have been with this club since the very beginning. Austin Yearwood, Josh Suggs, Daniel Bruce, the others. Chris, as the off seasons come and go, obviously some of the faces change, but some of the faces stay the same. And Sam Hamilton, he has been one of the mainstays here in black and yellow, club captain this year.
Yeah, there's a core of players that have been here since the beginning, right? And I'm sure the end to the season and how this has played out, maybe they, if you ask them honestly, maybe they wouldn't have even thought this was possible, but they managed to claw themselves back in. And for those guys who've been here since the start, it's a big night for those guys because you can tell how much it means to them.
And just the ability to control your own destiny in a match like tonight. It's got to be absolutely huge for these guys, and you can see the way that they started when they came out. 2 goals in the opening 13 minutes. Swartz and Bailey, then the brace, second half brace from Greg Hurst here tonight. And coming into this game, it was probably fair to wonder how much more could New Mexico continue to put out. They've been playing these playoff games essentially for about a month now.
Yeah, exactly. And hey, someone needs to copyright that saying, the Kings of Chaos. But it's almost like they revel in that. Like this club, they just revel in that absolute madness. When people say you shouldn't be able to do something, they're like, all right, do it. And yeah, let's say, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, whenever it was, and the odds of them being able to make the playoffs it was so slim. But if you look at why that's come about, like teams around there, El Paso, 1 win in 5, Oakland Roots, no win in 5, Monterey Bay, 1 win in 5. All the teams around New Mexico have conspired to just kind of not throw it away, but stutter into the end of the season.
And you mentioned Oakland Roots. They're one of the teams New Mexico have been battling with here over the past about month and a half. And if you remember back, Chris, to August, we had that stretch of 4 games in 10 days. Oakland were part of that 4-game stretch. They beat New Mexico on this field in late August. That was their last win.
Yeah, that says a lot, and it's, New Mexico United to go from that 4-game stretch. I think they only picked up 1 win in that 4-game stretch, and everyone felt that maybe that was it. That was their chance gone, because they played such a tough end of the season as well. They had that West Coast to East Coast trip from Sacramento to Pittsburgh, the 2 top teams in each conference, respectively, and it looked just such a tall order, and they've just kind of knuckled down and gone about their business, and everyone kind of thought that they couldn't do it. sort of stopped talking about them, and they've just snuck in there. And now they might not even finish, just sneak in at 8th. They might end up 7th as well.
Astorga looking to poke this forward for Bailey. How's your touch, Zico Bailey? Rivas now on the turn. Here's Astorga. Hurst just looking to flick on. You can see the free-flowing football being played here by the black and yellow.
Yeah, I mean, the freedom of a 3-goal lead. Obviously, this soccer wasn't being played 10 or so minutes ago, but New Mexico United players starting to enjoy themselves now. That touch by Zico Bailey just plucked it out of the air. Crowd loving it right now.
Bailey, he's settled in nicely since arriving here in Albuquerque. Making his 11th appearance, 10th start tonight for the club. Picked up his first goal. Also has an assist to his name as well. Handball will be called here. It's going to go against Nighty Pickering. It looks like McFadden picking up the yellow.
A lot of frustration out there on the pitch right now with Memphis players. I think that's the 3rd yellow card in the space of the last 5 or 6 minutes as well. You can see they're losing their heads a little bit, just playing into the hands of New Mexico United as well. Every set piece, they're able to take a little more time off the clock.
Pickering, a recent sub for Memphis. He replaced Rodrigo da Costa just about a minute ago. Back post in New Mexico, looking for a 5th. That one just escapes the head of, looked like Rivas was there alongside, couldn't tell, maybe Kalen Ryden as well.
It was Greg Hurst for a second thought about trying to punch it in with his hand as well. It was fizzed across the box. You see a deep ball in there. And it was Kalen Ryden just fizzes it across. You can see doing everything possible to try and get on the end. Was it Sam Hamilton behind Greg Hurst?
Hamilton,
there?
yeah. Hamilton and Hurst both there. It goes back to Sanchez and just to throw a leg out there. That was dangerous. The corner kick coming up here for New Mexico. Looks like we're going to see another sub here for Memphis as they are emptying out the bench. Looks like Dylan Borchak will be entering perhaps after this set piece. Portillo, this one's bouncing around, eventually cleared out by Ward.
See what they were trying to do there, New Mexico. Sergio Rivas got first contact, just trying to flick it on at the front post there. But it was a New Mexico United player that stopped it from progressing, but it's all New Mexico right now. The wheels have fallen off a little bit for Memphis. You can see, like I said, the frustration. Stephen Glass, the coach over there, now trying to stop the bleeding with getting some fresh legs on, some fresh impetus. See if they can claw some, at least pride back in this game.
So it's going to be McFadden making way as Borchak comes in. Borzak out of Detroit, Michigan. Listed at 5'10", 165, the 24-year-old.
How about those Eastern Conference games tomorrow with Detroit and Miami, the only two teams fighting for that last playoff spot. Miami, the cross-country trip to Sac Republic. Sac Republic not really playing for anything. Huge game, and Detroit playing host to Pittsburgh Riverhounds. So top in the East and top in the West, having a say on that last playoff spot in the East as well.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be just an absolute blast watching all of these games going on Again, make sure to catch all of the action, ESPN Plus.
There's going to be multiple screens logged into the same account trying to watch multiple games at the same time.
What I've noticed when watching specifically on my Xbox is that it gives you the ability to do a multicast. So you can do 2 up, you can go 3 up, you can go 4 up. I haven't found that capability on any other platform, so I think I know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow night. Have 4 games going all at once.
I know where I'm going tomorrow.
"86 minutes gone by here in Albuquerque." Is it Daly trying to track this one down? Sends that out. Tyler Ortega here alongside Chris Hurst. And Chris, as it stands right now, New Mexico into the postseason for a 4th season out of 5. So just looking at this club's history when it comes to postseason play, obviously we're going to see a couple of subs here. Nicky Hernandez and Schneider Borgelin will enter. Greg Hurst making way. A brace for the Scotsman. So he'll be replaced by Borgelin.
Great shift by Greg Hurst as well. Obviously, you get the headlines for the 2 goals which sealed the win. But the work rate, the press early on, specifically in the first half, those are the hard miles that go unrewarded almost, and he put those miles in today.
Nicky Hernandez replaces Will Seymour. Set piece here for Memphis off the corner, and Thomas rises up to grab it. Rivas picked up his 5th assist here tonight and leads the black and yellow this season. Portillo also picking up his 5th assist here on the first goal that was scored by Harry Swartz. So those 2 tied with 5 assists. Back to Ryden. So, as we were saying earlier, looking at the record by season for this club, 2019, making it into the postseason, losing the play-in round at Sac Republic. That was a 2-1 loss. The following season, of course, the COVID season that was shortened, where it seems like New Mexico played El Paso Switchbacks and Monarchs about 500 times that year. New Mexico victorious in the first round at San Antonio, then went on to lose in penalty kicks down at Southwest University Park to El Paso Locomotive. Then in 2021, it was the lone season that they did not qualify for the playoffs. Last year, back in 51 points on the season. That is an all-time high for the club, where they were dispatched by Sac Republic once again at Heart Health in the first round, 2-0. So Chris, looking at the 2 possible opponents, San Antonio, Sacramento. I'm sure if you're New Mexico, just going based off of history, probably want to go play San Antonio. Going based on this season, might want to play Sac.
Yeah, they've done pretty well. Obviously, the game here, that was one of the best games of the season, I would say. It was fairly early on in Coach Quill's tenure.
Yep.
And it was just a complete performance against a team that was flying at the time as well. You know, no one really saw it coming, so that's what made it even more special. But yeah, San Antonio probably done the opposite to New Mexico United. They've smashed New Mexico United here at home.
Oh yeah.
So it's it's tough. I mean, it's pick your poison, right?
Into second half stoppage time. 3 minutes of New Mexico Pinon coffee stoppage time. Great coffee is a matter of opinion. As Moreno called for offside. Moreno's going to be subbed off, and Demianchuk ensuring he makes his way off the pitch as quickly as possible, as he's going to be replaced by Jacobo Reyes.
Going back to what you were saying about Sac Republic, San Antonio, who wants to play New Mexico United right now after 3 wins in a row.
Right.
And you know, a potential striker in Greg Hurst who's hitting some form, not assists, I guess, but winning those PKs and, you know, getting some real production. And then obviously the 2 goals tonight. Kalen Ryden looks back to his best. He's playing very, very well at the back there. Justin Portillo keeping things ticking over. A player like Nicky Hernandez being able to come off the bench. There's a lot of positive things for New Mexico United going into the stretch here, and it's not always, you know, once you're in the playoffs, it's almost just about as much as who's playing well at that moment, not necessarily who's played well up until that point.
Absolutely, and you know, with tonight's victory, as you mentioned, that'll be 3 on the trot for the black and yellow. Last time they did that, Chris, you got to go all the way back to last season. It was a run during late May into early June where New Mexico beat Indy 11, they beat OC, and then they beat Roots all consecutively. All 3 of those matches on the road. And also, as you look here at their home form this season, they're going to improve to 9 wins, 5 losses, 3 draws at home, so that'll put them at 30 points out of a possible 51. That's a huge improvement on last season where they only took home 24 out of a possible 51.
Yeah, the flip side of that is obviously we know that the playoff game is going to be on the road, and their away form has been a struggle. 9 losses this season, only 4 ties and only 4 wins, so that is a little concerning. But again, that's over the whole season. If you look at the little microcosm that is the last 5 games, you've got to hope that, you know, especially with New Mexico United support, you hope that they've maybe turned the corner a little bit, found a little form at the right time of the year.
They can feel it here in Albuquerque. Final whistle, just moments away, and once it sounds, 11,385 here at the Lab will be celebrating a 4th postseason berth in 5 seasons. Likely to be the final kick of the match here from Thomas as he boots it deep, and New Mexico on the final match day of the USL Championship regular season have punched their ticket into the playoffs.
Again, who would have thought it a few weeks ago? But now all the pressure turns to the teams looking up at New Mexico United. And what a feeling that must be, getting this game out of the way on the Friday night. Memphis have a little bit of a nervy wait tomorrow to see if they get that home game as well.
Our man of the match brought to you by Pepsi. It's Greg Hurst for bagging the brace. This is his first season with the black and yellow. 4 goals on the campaign, 2 of them coming in an 11-minute stretch here tonight. Harry Swartz also taking home some honors here this evening, as he was your play of the match, brought to you by Bud Light for his 6th goal this season. This is his 3rd year in black and yellow. Swartzy got the party started in the 4th minute. And of course, your save of the match brought to you by Invigorate Roofing. Going to the man between the sticks, Andrew Thomas. Massive performance. He had a huge save early on Akeem Ward.
Yeah, and that was 1-0 at that point, and how important that save became. But for him, you've got to say a relatively quiet night, and he'll love that.
Relatively quiet for Andy Thomas, and New Mexico clinching the playoffs. Kings of Chaos back in. We'll step aside. We'll be back to put a bow on it. Don't go anywhere.
The estimated hold time is now 96 minutes.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
For everyone.
Full time here at the Lab. The playoff celebrations have commenced as the black and yellow celebrating with the curse here right down in front of us. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here on hand as we are going to wrap this up here as New Mexico defeating Memphis 4-1 here on the final match day of the regular season. Full-time highlights brought to you by Will Ferguson and Associates. Chris, 3.5 minutes into this one, Harry Swartz, goal number 6.
Yeah, and that seems like a lifetime ago now, doesn't it? That great ball in by Portillo. We know how deadly he is from set pieces. And look at that, Harry Swartz, the freedom of the 18-yard box at the back there. I think he was as surprised as anyone that it found its way all the way back there. It did really well to slot it home. And then the architect is Armando Moreno, a lovely little slotted pass. And Zico Bailey, just that little fake right there, sends the defender the wrong way and then slots it straight through the legs of Sanchez, who can't do anything about it.
First goal in black and yellow for Zico Bailey, and what a goal it was. It's one that he'll remember for a long time as he helped his club clinch a spot in the playoffs. But that wasn't it. It looked like Memphis, they were going to claw their way back into this one.
Yeah, it was audible how quiet it got in the stadium when that goal went in. Everyone in the stadium thought, oh no, here we go. And New Mexico, fair enough, dug in, but great header, great ball in by Molly as well, who leads the team in assists, and you can see why with set piece deliveries like that. But then up steps Greg Hurst to calm any nerves. And both goals very similar, just opposite sides of the field. One, he runs the inside right channel there, slotted through, and just slots it home so calmly. And the second goal you see in a second is just almost identical, where he's slotted in behind again, does really well to hold his run, to keep himself onside. Ball through by Rivas, and then just slots it in the near post, sees the keeper lean in the other direction, just slots it in the bottom in the near post there. And I think that was the moment everyone knew for sure for New Mexico United, where it became one big party for the end of the game.
And it's incredible what just an ounce of confidence will do for a striker. As you see Greg Hurst, calm, cool, collected, slotting those home, and New Mexico punching their ticket to the postseason. Full-time stats here from the Lab. As you see Memphis, they dominated possession. They asked some questions, but really it didn't feel like they were all that threatening tonight.
No, and you can see there, like 11 shots, only 3 on target. I said that just before. Andrew Thomas, he didn't really have a whole lot to do. You know, there was the one shot, obviously the goal, a couple of saves. Other than that, it's been a really, really comfortable night for him. So, you know, how many times have we said that about New Mexico United as well? It's not how much possession you have, it's what you do with it. And New Mexico United tonight were clinical.
New Mexico clinical, victorious 4-1 over Memphis 901 FC. Ticket punched to the postseason. And so all eyes turn tomorrow to the final day of action to see exactly when and where New Mexico will be playing in the first round of the postseason. And before we get out of here, I'd like to wish a happy belated birthday to our director, Gary Williams, who's over in the booth. And for everybody here tonight, Chris Hurst on color. Gary, our director, for the last time this season. My name is Tyler Ortega. Thank you for watching.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
Bank of America corner kick. With over 4,600 locations, convenient banking just around the corner. Theo sends this one in, and at the back post, immediately getting the party started. Why wait, says Harry Swartz. That's his 6th goal of the season. And Bank of America corner kick. With over 4,600 locations, convenient banking just around the corner. Theo sends this one in, and at the back post, immediately getting the party started. Why wait, says Harry Swartz. That's his 6th goal of the season. Bank of America corner kick.